History was made last night on April 30th as one of the strongest tornadoes likely ever recorded on radar hit in southern Oklahoma. This happened right outside of KFDR, which is Frederick, near Wichita Falls. This happened specifically between Hollister and Loveland, and this is when we started identifying that something major was happening. The tornado began to grow in intensity here. The hairs on the back of our neck stood up when we saw this image. This is a CC drop, known as a correlation coefficient. And what you can see here is a massive debris ball. This actually began to break the color tables of the radar spectrum. For example, this is cave and AWIPS with orange in there. And when I pulled this up and began to look, you could actually see here that it was bleeding over. And on radar, it looked like a hurricane. You could see a clear eye from the radar. We knew something major was happening. And around this time, National Weather Service Norman, Oklahoma, did say how its motion is very erratic, but it wasn't just the strength of the tornado that made history. We also had a Fuji-War effect on a anticyclonic tornado. So typically, tornadoes and everything in the northern hemisphere spin this way. This tornado began to spin this way. And I want to show you something. This was what I recorded last night, where the tornado actually began to spin around. Here you can actually see where it spuns around, and then
all these historic storms happening right now. A tornado that spins the opposite way? Yeah, that's heard of. Huh. How about one that creates an eye on radar like a hurricane? Most will just stay asleep. This is only the beginning. And Jesus is coming so very soon. Living in the Arklatex, I've seen tornadoes my whole life. I don't think I've quite seen anything like we've been experiencing here the past 2 weeks. And again, it's just the beginning. When I was 5 years old, I lived in Shreveport, and there was a huge tornado. I remember my dad was having a barbecue. It was somewhere around in April 1989, and that day I became petrified of tornadoes because I heard this little brown box. It was like a weather thing. You pressed the little lever and it told you about storms. Well, I heard that go off, and little old me ran out the carport door, looked above the house, and I saw this cloud almost touching the house. I hollered for my dad. He ran out there and looked above the house, and he grabbed me and ran back in the house. We went in the hallway. There was probably 7 people there. Again, he was having a barbecue. And we all got in the hallway, and that thing hit every house in the neighborhood but ours. But seeing something like that at 5 years old, it petrified me. So ever since then, I've been watching the weather and paying attention to this kind of stuff, studying this stuff. I've never seen anything like what I posted in the video before this. Never in my life. From studying this stuff. Speaking of that tornado that I was in when I was a kid, my grandma lived 2 miles from us. She had a 2-story house that my dad, my uncle, and my grandpa built the upstairs of it. It used to be a 1-story. So they built 3 more bedrooms upstairs. And my grandpa dug out a swimming pool in the backyard himself in the 60s, I think it was. And this was in Southern Hills in Shreveport, Louisiana. And I tell y'all, my grandma had business signs from businesses like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 miles down the road. I couldn't tell you how far exactly it was. I know it was a little ways away. She had all that stuff in her swimming pool. I remember after it was all over with, I went with my dad over to my grandma's because she called him, and all this stuff. I remember seeing this sign. It was part of my mom's business sign in my grandma's pool, which her business was about 3 miles away. She had a dry cleaners. And her sign was in my grandma's pool, my dad's mom. Wild stuff. So when I was younger, I know that stuff scared me when I saw this, and it intrigued me at the same time. I say this to tell you, we're in the times of judgment right now, and it's about to hit harsh, y'all. This country will be judged like never before. Keep looking up, church. Jesus is coming soon. Romans 10:9-13. I love all of you. I truly do. God bless.